Okay, welcome to part 2 of my genre study. I'm still talking about Knuffle Bunny 2, the funny book by Mo Willems. After telling you what the story was about, I'm going to now share what my math extension would be. As I said a minute ago, in the book you go through Trixie's account for the whole school day, even through the night and the next morning. So I thought, what a great way to incorporate time in the classroom. Now this would be for a little bit older than elementary school grade, maybe 2nd or 3rd grade, because there would be writing involved. But I thought, what about a great way to do a Knuffle Bunny time journal? And here's just a sample of maybe what a student's work would look like. I thought they could choose at least 5 different points in the book to put a time with. And so here I wrote Trixie gets to school, and I put the time 7:30. Now they either can show the digital time, or they could draw an actual clock and do an analog version and do a simple illustration. I did a few more examples. I said Miss Greengrove, Trixie's teacher, gives Trixie and Sonia their Knuffle Bunnies back. And that was at the end of the school day, so I chose 3 o'clock there. And you can see the 2 different versions of time that the students could use in their time journal. Here's another page. In the book it talks about Trixie eating her dinner with Knuffle Bunny. And so that's another clip from the book that I decided to include in my time journal, and I put 6 o'clock with this picture. But anyways, as long as the time was somewhat appropriate, then they will have done the work correctly, and I think it would lend itself to good discussion. You know, could they have gotten their Knuffle Bunnies back an hour before or ahead of the time they chose? Why or why not? Would that be appropriate? And of course, another great activity extension would be to make a clock on a paper plate. And I had staples, but really you need a brad. I just didn't have one on hand. You need a brad and 2. I chose to use 2 different colors so the students wouldn't get the hour and the minute hand confused. And so as students share their time journals, they could move their clock, or they could read the book aloud, and the teacher could model turning the clock to different times in the book. Of course, after they read it for enjoyment. This is another math extension they could do. Okay, going on to some other books that I chose for my math in my library, my math books. I also chose the wonderful book Thundercake by Patricia Polacco. She's an award-winning author and illustrator. Most of her books have a personal connection, which I love, and this particular story is about her grandmother and the little girls fearful of the thunderstorm coming, so they count the seconds until the thunder gets closer and closer. This book also has a ton of position words that would be fun for the students to act out. This book has a great literary element because every child can connect with the fact of being afraid of a noise or a sound or something, and this book actually is thunder. And last, the story also has ordinal numbers in it. There's a recipe in the back of the book, and there's also ingredients that are gathered throughout the book where they can make ingredient cards and put them in order, or they can number their recipe in the back. The next book I want to talk about is Pete the Cat and His 4 Groovy Buttons. It's the latest book by Eric Litwin in the whole Pete the Cat series. This is the most fun series of books. They all come with a separate song that the students love to listen to and watch the videos on the computer. This is a great book to start simple subtraction, and that is definitely a deficit in my kindergarten teaching. You're supposed to introduce subtraction, and so I thought this would be a great book for my classroom library. An extension with this book would be to have a 5 frame and use actual buttons and have the students place the 4 buttons on a 5 frame and actually remove the buttons as the story goes along and as Pete the Cat's buttons pop off. And another fun extension would be to have the students act it out and have an apron or a vest with Velcro buttons on it, and whoever's playing Pete the Cat could actually take away their buttons, and then you could talk about how many buttons have popped off so far and how many buttons are left. A great and fun book for elementary students. Another book that I have chosen is Inch by Inch by the Caldecott Honor Award Leah Leone. This is a great book with awesome illustrations. This is a great book for measuring in the classroom. It can be used for lots of different grades, any grade that has measuring in their unit. After introducing this book, I would have the students measure using standard or non-standard measuring units, and then of course they can record all their findings in their math journals. You could also make a little inchworm that was exactly an inch for each student, and they could measure things using the actual inchworm. Some possible questions that you could use for this extension is it easier to measure with little or big things? Do you prefer measuring with standard or non-standard units? And what things did you measure, and what did you use to measure them? All of that could be recorded in their math journal. The last book I'm going to share today is again by my favorite artist, Mo Willems, and it's Should I Share My Ice Cream? I thought this was a good book to show halves and thirds and fourths to start off with that in math. And so this book is about Piggy and Elephant, two great friends, and they cannot decide if they're going to share their ice cream with one another. It's really so funny, and again, Mo Willems is using his speech bubbles that he's so famous for. I thought a great extension with this book, I found a simple recipe on the internet to make Play-Doh ice cream, and you can add food coloring to it. You can even add vanilla extract to make it have the scent of ice cream, and then use an actual ice cream scoop. The students could scoop out their Play-Doh into a scoop, and then they could divide it in half and make two different balls of ice cream, or maybe divide it in thirds and divide it in fourths and show the different portions of ice cream with the division. Thank you.